All right. Welcome, family. For my new family members, allow me to introduce myself. If you've been here for a while, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Kiwanis. I am a board certified credit consultant. I am also the owner of KMJ Financial Services, where we specialize in credit education and restoration and tax preparation. I also have an MBA, and I am your favorite podcast host of the Credit Refresh podcast, where a new episode drops every single Wednesday. If you're watching the replay, let me know in the chat. Type hashtag replay gang. So let's jump right into today's 10-minute tip. We are talking about 5 credit laws that you should know. Number one is the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Now, this act allows you to know who requested and received your credit covering the last 2 years. It requires a lender that denies your credit based on information in your credit report to provide you the contact information of the credit reporting agency that actually provided that credit information. Now, if you recently applied for credit, you should receive something in the mail that not only discloses your credit score, but also the credit reporting agency that provided that information. So the credit bureau, whichever credit bureau provided that information. This happens if you're not denied, but it's required if you are denied. Now, the Fair Credit Reporting Act also entitles you to a copy of your credit report if your application is denied. This act also allows you to dispute any inaccurate, incomplete, or unverifiable information on your credit report, and it also allows you to leave an explanation on your credit report if there are any disputes that are unresolved. Now, number two is the Fair and Accurate Credit Transaction Act. Now, this allows you to see your credit report for free once per year from all of the 3 major credit bureaus. So that's Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. You also can purchase your credit score for a reasonable fee, and as well as how your credit score is calculated. Now, number 3 is the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. This act prohibits discrimination based on sex, race, color, marital status, religion, national origin, age, all of that stuff if you receive public assistance. And that for that reason, none of these things are listed on your actual credit report. It also gives you the right to know why your credit is denied, and it limits the type of information that can be requested by you about you or your spouse. Now, number 4 is the Fair Credit Billing Act. And this act establishes procedures and allows corrections for mistakes made related to credit billing or any statements, your credit billing statements. Now, this only applies to credit cards or any other open-ended credit revolving accounts that you may have. Number 5 is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Now, this act is where we talk about all those collection questions that you may have. The act was put in place to eliminate abusive debt collection practices, which we know still go on today. So this is a very important right that you have that you should know about. Now, there's some rules set in place, like collectors can only contact you between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. wherever you're located. Now, collectors cannot contact you at work if your employer does not allow it. The law protects you from abuse or harassment by debt collectors. Debt collectors are not allowed to lie to you or make false claims against you. The act also requires collectors to identify themselves when they contact you, and they must provide certain information about the debt and your rights. And then finally, the law requires debt collectors to cease contact attempts if you make that request in writing. That is so important. If a debt collector is contacting you, and I talk about this in today's podcast episode that dropped today, if a collector calls you, you can simply tell them, If they call you on the phone, you can simply say, please contact me only through writing on the address you have on file. And then I also go into what you can say in a letter when you are contacting the collection agencies. So go take a listen to that podcast episode if you have more questions about how you can handle collection calls. If you have questions, make sure you place them in the chat, or you can DM me your questions if you don't feel comfortable placing them here. If you want to go in depth and read more about these laws, you can do so at consumerfinance.gov. We also go deeper in these laws in the Credit Refresh Academy. I know that all this credit repair stuff can really become confusing, but that is why I created the Credit Refresh Academy. I want to see you win in this credit game. The Credit Refresh Academy, I give you all the tools you need to do just that. By the end, you are able to repair your credit like a pro, and you'll know all these laws and all these things that will get your credit back to where it should be. So if you know your credit's not where you want it to be, don't wait to get started. Get started now. Don't keep putting it off. Don't keep procrastinating, working on your credit because you feel like you'll never get out of this cycle. You can absolutely do so. I am a testament of that. And you have me along the way to help you. So make sure that you click the link in my bio, tap that first button to enroll in the Credit Refresh Academy today. If you're watching the replay, don't forget to drop your questions in the chat. I always go back and watch the replays. Until next time, y'all be good.